There's videos, and I've seen many of them, where people literally in their car are driving to an affluent neighborhood, taking the dog, leaving it out the car, driving away, and the dog is chasing
Oh,
the car and trying and getting up to it, trying to get in, back in, and they're just going away. And there's people saying, "Hey, what are you doing?" They're like, "Oh, that's not my dog."
that is the most
So that's part
heartbreaking
of
thing
it.
imaginable. Oh my God.
From the Mad Dog Studios, That's My Dog podcast, the only podcast designated, designed, and directed to making you and your pooch stars. With your host, Lance Craig, I am Ted Cook. Together, well, we're going to unleash the zoomies on you right now. The change in energy is simply force multiplied by the distance that force acts through. Well, today's guest rides a comet of energy that cannot be measured or conserved. And in fact, his velocity, it's only gaining momentum as he accelerates through overcrowded shelters, trying to save as many fur babies from premature death as he possibly can. It's said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, I can tell you, there's nothing insane about this man or his mission. And in fact, personally, I can't think of a higher calling. And we're honored that he answered our call as well. Please welcome to That's My Dog, Mr. Jarad Held.
Today we are speaking with Jarad Held, founder, director, and chief paw protector of Paws Saving Paws. He's also responsible for the Freedom Ride Express initiative, and we're going to hear a little bit more about that here in just a few minutes. And he's also going to tell us what excites him about this and how this could look in the future. He's an incredibly busy man, so please welcome to That's My Dog, Mr. Jarad Held. Jarad, thank you so much for being here and being a part of the program today. We appreciate you and your time, sir.
I can't thank you enough for letting me be a part of this, to share the word about dogs. If we're able to do anything, even if it's 75 times to save a dog, we'll do it. And that's the most important thing. So I'm very, very excited to be here today. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Well, we know your time is valuable, so we're just going to get straight to it. And just tell us essentially how you started this line of work. Were you in something previous before you did this? What spoke to you to get you down this avenue?
Yeah, I used to be a campus college president, and I was in higher education for 25 years. About 5 years ago, I became disabled, and so my left leg is really bad. And for 3 years, it was really, really tough because all of a sudden you work for 25 years for your career, and you wake up the next day and everything's gone. You have
Mm.
nothing to do or anything. It's just it's wild. So it took about 3.5 years of horribleness. I don't know how to say it better.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
just depression and just, because you lose everything. And then January of 2025, I wanted to do something with dogs. I started the dog rescue, and I had no clue what I wanted to do except for open up my location so I could hire people to do rescue for me. And I'm the only one who does the rescue.
Oh my God.
Of
Wow.
course, of course. Well, let's speak about your day-to-day life when you're dealing with these dogs in these kennels and these shelters, and they're behind these bars and they're on the euthanasia list. How do you deal with that day in and day out, Jared? Because I would be in tears. Actually, when I did this podcast, I was in tears talking about my previous dog, so I could not imagine doing what you do day in and day out.
So there's a couple things that are important. One thing to know is that whether you're there in person or you're part of a team that is only seeing video, that doesn't mean you hurt less.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That's important to know. The other thing too is that my whole entire career, have always had the slogan for myself is, if this is what you signed up for, don't complain about it. And I signed up to do this, and the dogs deserve my best every single time at every single kennel. And I can't let my mental challenges, and what I'm talking about is the euthanasia list, things of that nature, or my feelings or anything like that, get in the way of saving a dog. Because if I'm at a dog's kennel and I'm not giving my best and they don't make it,
Yeah.
that hurts a lot more. But there's tons of like today's been a hard day. We've lost a good amount of dogs, and there's a bunch more in there that probably will. There'll be a lot of tears shed, but also there'll be freedom rides. There'll be welcome homes. There'll be pups that make it, pups that actually are thriving, that were shaking and scared and couldn't move in the shelter. that now are playing, running with their families as if they're fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you just never know. So I have got to hold on to the freedom rides, the welcome homes, and no matter when I get that feeling in my head, because I get it all the time, I'll tell myself that's what you signed up for.
Yeah.
If you want this to happen, you have to deal with this. So that's how I really focus on it. And I won't make believe that I don't cry every day, because that's not the case. You know what I mean? But I can tell you that as I smile a lot when we're able to save pups too.
Absolutely. Man, it really just sounds like you're just keeping things in perspective. I think that's how you're able to keep going on. You're able to look at what good you're doing, and like, what, this is happening, but look at the good. Look at the good. And I think that's the only way to keep going forward in so many different ways, really.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And I'm there at least Wednesday and Sunday, sometimes more if there's freedom rides. But we do videos of every single dog in the shelter. Every single dog. There's times when we were there Sunday till close, get there Wednesday and open. So pretty much 2 days, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 143 new dogs.
Oh my!
Would you please?
Oh my God, that's
Isn't
so
that
many.
nuts? Would you please plug your show, your live TikTok show, Jarad? And we'll address this again at the end of the program.
Yeah, actually, tomorrow night we're doing our first ever night live at ACS San Antonio from 5:30 p.m. Central Time till 8 p.m. And this is what I got to say is amazing. I spoke with ACS. I've been working with them, and they close at 7. They're keeping people there later from 7 to 8 because on our TikTok analytics, there's 163% more people on than the hour before.
Wow.
So that way we can hopefully see more people. So that's the thing, is that they are trying and working hard to do everything they can. But when you get, like I said, 143 dogs in 2 days, it's a San Antonio population, San Antonio city problem.
What is the problem? What is the systemic problem as you see it, Jarad?
So if you look at Houston, San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas-Fort Worth, Austin is a no unalive. The other 3, not the case, and high unalive. I would say, wait, ask the question. I want to make sure I'm answering it correctly.
That's okay. What do you see as the impetus behind all these strays that end up in the shelters?
Gotcha. So there's a few things that are going on. One is that the backyard breeding, which I'm not a fan of at all. So say somebody, they get 8 pups in the litter. They sell 2 of them. The other 6 of the mom are dumped on the side of the street. There's videos, and I've seen many of them, where people literally in their car are driving to an affluent neighborhood, taking the dog, leaving it out the car, driving away, and the dog is chasing the car and getting up to it, trying to get back in, and they're just going away. And there's people saying, "Hey, what are you doing?" They're like, "Oh, that's not my dog."
That is the most heartbreaking thing imaginable. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's horrible. And then also you have in San Antonio specifically, there's that feel of not wanting to neuter for some masculinity parts, as well as people will say education will help, but it's really a city demographic. Everybody looks at dogs differently, however you were raised in whatever country you're in or whatever might be like that. And I think that's the challenge. Then the other big piece of it as well is just dogs getting dumped everywhere and not being neutered and spayed. So that way there's just another 8 puppies and another 8 puppies, another 10 puppies, and there's nowhere for them to go.
Wow.
Well, let's talk about some good news for a moment. Let's talk about this Freedom Ride Express initiative. Talk to us, Jarad, because you're shipping dogs or transporting dogs all over the globe, and I've heard even to the moon. That might be a bit of a hyperbole, but still.
I don't know where you heard that from, Ted.
I hear things. What can I tell you, Lance?
So the Freedom Ride Express is our take on when the dog is officially leaving the shelter, comes out of the gates, and they're free. We're there. We're doing the video. We're doing the pictures. We're giving them hugs. As soon as I do that, I'm FaceTiming or video calling the adopter so they can see their pup. Then also sometimes I'll video call the team so they could see. Actually, not this Sunday, but the Sunday before, we did one live Freedom Ride Express at the beginning of the live and one at the end, which was awesome.
That's
But so
awesome.
the Freedom Ride Express, we have now 37 states and 9 places in Canada that we have found homes for pups. After this week, we should have 39, just depending on how it goes. So we have a song too. This is the coolest. I'm just going to plug at Belina La Diva. She's a really, really big DJ in the electronic music movement. And I go on her live a lot. And she made the Freedom Ride Express song for us. So
That's
what goes on
cool.
every single Freedom Ride. Yep. And so that's what it is that they're finally free. And then we can go ahead and take those videos. We can post it. We can make sure that all the people that are working so hard, hours and hours and hours, know that it does work for some pups. Not for everybody, not for every dog, but we have to worry about every single one because it matters to them.
If Jarad, if they want to reach out to you, how can they contact you, sir?
Yep. Our link tree is at Paws Saving Paws, PAWSSAVING PAWS. That is all of our handles on our TikTok, our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube channel. The website is pawssavingpaws.org. We also have Clapper, like we talked about, Threads, but everything's at Paws Saving Paws, and it's a lot to keep up with.
Sure. And plug your TikTok on Sundays. I think we skipped that when we talked about this initially.
Yep. Yeah, so every Sunday we do a live on TikTok from ACS San Antonio, and what's really, really exciting is that this is not a please save this dog, please save. That's not what it is. What we're doing is this could be the last day of that dog's life. And what I want to do and what my team wants to do is to make sure that pup knows that they matter, that they're loved, and they're cared about if that's their last day. So we bring toys, treats, stuffed animals. We shower them with love and give them every single bit of our heart that we possibly can, and try to find adopters, like I said, like we talked about throughout the country, to save them. So that's every Sunday. And this past Sunday, our live was the last 2 Sundays. Actually, our lives have been two of the strongest lives we've ever had. And also both weeks we got 3 applications directly from the live. So
Nice.
that's what the most important thing is. I don't care if I have 16 million viewers or 3. If I get 3 applications, you know what I mean, to help a dog.
I do.
Yeah.
The analysis is not viewers or likes, or it's how many dogs are saved.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there one that sticks out in your mind, Jarad, specifically?
Yeah, hold on a sec. Come here, Boop. Come here, Boop. Come here, baby. Ooh. This is Betty Boop.
Oh my gosh.
So Betty Boop, we did a live a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago on a Wednesday, and I didn't think it through well enough, is probably the case. And where you at, baby? Where's your head? There you are. And what happened is that we did the live, and I was hoping we could get some adopters to come in same day before at 12:30. We started at 11:30. Unfortunately, what happened is we did save 2 dogs that day. So let me say that. But the dogs were going from the outside play area where we were with them, and when we brought them back to the kennel, right to youth. So
Could you elaborate on that, please, Jarad? Because I hear that on your TikTok a lot about they can go from the counter to the youth room. I'm not aware of that. I didn't have any knowledge of that. Could you please explain to the audience what that entails, what that's all about?
Yeah, of course. So there's 3 different distinguishments. One is if a dog is an owner surrender, they can go from, like you were saying, to from the counter to the euthanasia room. So if a foster is returned, an adopter is returned, they're considered owner return as well and have the same distinction. If they do not have a microchip, it's 3 days they have. If they have a microchip, it's 5 days before they can be on the euthanasia list. And let me just real quickly tell you about Betty. So Betty was the last pup that was on that live that Wednesday. So she was in there with me for about 10, 15 minutes. And then afterwards, I got a call from a couple people on my team. So we were talking for about 20, 25 minutes, and she was sitting just like this the whole time. And then when I brought her back to the kennel, they took out the kennel card and put in the dirty cage sign and walked her, was starting to walk her to euthanasia. And I just couldn't let it happen. And so I tagged her, and I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? But
Mm.
this is Betty. Look up, baby.
Oh, Betty.
I actually reposted her, Jared.
Oh, really?
I did. Yeah, I sure did.
Yeah, baby boo. Yep. So that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? And like, I don't. I have 3 pups here now, 4 with Betty Boop. We're looking for an adopter and things of that nature. But she we made sure she decompressed for a week by herself before we introduced her to any other dogs. Then we introduced them one by one, extremely slowly, to make sure that we have the biggest probability that it will be successful.
Please
And
elaborate on that, Jared, because we hear that
yeah,
all the time on your live TikTok. Decompress
yep.
these dogs because they get returned if not.
Yep.
Please.
Yeah. The biggest issue is that I will have conversations with my adopters 3 times, 4 times, send them a text screenshot, send them an email. Do not introduce your dog when they get there to the other dog. They need to be by themselves. They need to decompress. The reality is we don't know what they were dealing with before the shelter. Then they're in the shelter for 1, 2, 3 weeks. Then they're in quarantine for at least 2 weeks. Then they're on a truck for 2 to 3 days, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days to get to their new home. And now they're there. They have no clue what's going on. They have no clue where they are. They don't know anything. And then if you're going to put them next to another dog, what are you going to expect to happen? So you need to let them decompress. I always say 6, 7 days. And then you do slow introductions. You will want 1 pup on one side of the street, whichever is the pack leader, if there's multiple. And then on the other side of the street, the other pup. And then after 15, 20 feet, it's not like you have to walk a mile, bring them together in the middle. You don't want to get them hit in the middle of the street, sorry. But, but bring them together and see how they do, because you don't want to have the dog that's already there, that's their home, get defensive and protect their home. If they're outside the house on the sidewalk, that's not something that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's talk about logistics when you're transporting the dogs all over the globe, Jared. Tell us a
Yep.
little bit about that, please.
Yeah, sometimes it goes really well. Sometimes there's challenges, but pretty much the way it works is the only transporters I'll work with, and let me try to say this without saying a bad word. If they're not jerks about the 14-day quarantine, I won't use them. Because if I'm going to quarantine my dogs for at least 14 days or more to make sure they're not sick, I want every other dog like that too, so they don't get my dog sick. And so pretty much the transport leaves either Wednesday or Thursday normally. And once their 2 weeks are done in quarantine, the next Wednesday or Thursday after that they'll get picked up. We'll bring them to out-of-state transport, and then they'll be on the out-of-state transport. It's really neat. There's a messenger group that I add the adopter to, as well as I think it's Life 360, where you can actually track the truck, see the speed, see everything, and know exactly where they are.
Wow.
So
Nice.
that part is really neat. Now, things that happen when it was a little colder a couple months back, there was such a big wind, the truck had to pull over for like 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes you're scheduled for 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. to pick up your dog, and now it's 3 a.m. So I make sure that everybody knows. I have a memorandum of understanding that goes over all these types of details with them. So it's not the first time they heard it. They know it's possible.
How do you vet people? I mean, you're dealing with people 1,000 miles away. How do you know that you're accurately getting good depiction of these people's character?
Yep. Yeah. And we do our best. But if somebody is really, really good at telling untruths, and you know what I mean, you never know. But what we do first is we have an application and a contract. Once that's done, I actually build a memorandum of understanding. It's about a 3-page document that will outline every single step of the process, the adopter's responsibilities, our responsibilities, every single thing price-wise in line item. So that way they know exactly what everything is, not just a flat fee. So they know everything. And we put that together. Once that's done, then we do a recorded video call of every single adopter, of their home, the inside, the outside. I get their driver's license front and back, and then I compare the application. The thing on the video call that I'm looking for, one of the most important, is the house number, apartment number, whatever it is. So I can compare it to the driver's license. I can compare it to the video call and the application. And if they all don't match, I know there's an issue. We also have the background checks as well. And when I first started, I wasn't really good at all. Like I would feel different things in my gut, but I didn't know what it meant. Now, if I have for a second a feeling in my gut, we don't move forward.
Yeah. So okay, so who all is are you the main person who's looking at the applications, or is that a shared duty?
Yeah, so Christina Pitty Mom on TikTok
Okay.
has access to also looks at the applications as well, and we'll review them together sometimes. The majority of the time, like everything that's rescue, so anything that's rescue or local, I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
We have about 12, 13 people on the team that repost videos that do an amazing job. We actually, Grace and Pitty Mom Christina, they we have a whole entire master Excel sheet with every single dog that's come into the shelter since January, every disposition, their whole entire process, how they got out or didn't get out, if they had two foster holes and those dropped. So we know all the different things, so that way we can do our own analysis without having to ask for it.
Wow. Man, this is I
And they
mean,
do so
Yeah.
much work, so many hours. You got to think about this. It's updating all day long.
wow.
And they're literally all day long updating, moving kennels and all the things. The dedication, the heart and love of the whole team, and especially with Pitty Mom and Christina and Grace, with what they do and the hours they spend. It, if that doesn't prove that they love the mission, they love the dogs, there's nothing that can.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that could say that any better. So earlier you were talking a bit about just the process and like how, how different dogs, if they're given up by owner, they could be go straight to youth, and or like and those different rules. Is that specific for San Antonio? Those rules?
Yeah, like in Harris County and Bark, I believe both of them are the same in Houston. They get 15 days.
Okay. Wow.
But the difference is in San Antonio, they have a euthanasia list where we can actually track exactly what stage the dogs are in. So
Mhm.
we know dog John is in B6, which is pre-youth or in euthanasia, about to get the second shot. So we know if we have an adopter, we have something, we need to go fast.
Wow.
Not 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 still as wait, what's the word I'm looking for? No corners cut,
Yeah.
just fast.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, that totally makes
Absolutely.
sense. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
and seems like there's different rules for each, even like each surrounding area. And so
Yeah.
how do you navigate that?
Well, so we're approved at San Antonio,
Uh-huh.
Harris County, and Bark in Houston, Dallas, both Fort Worth locations, in Arkansas, Maryland, and Apple Valley in California.
No.
So those are the places that we can pull from, tag from, rescue from, and they're all different. You have to literally. I have documents
Yeah.
that show me what I put down that says, okay, these are different steps for this location. Like,
Mhm.
for example, Harris County, there's an email template when you rescue a dog, you have to send in.
Yeah.
So I have that somewhere so I know where it is. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Yeah.
But you just have to learn what it is. And what I will say, very, very honestly, is my first 3 months when I started this, I love dogs. I had no clue about rescue. So it was tough with working with ACS, but it wasn't tough because of them. It was tough because I had no clue what I was doing.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I was learning.
Well, I think that's the case with a lot of people who are even looking to rescue a dog. They don't know how things work. They don't understand the regulations, and I think we even discussed a little bit before we started recording, and just about how um, lots of times rescues can get kind of like dumped on, or maybe that's not the right word. Rescues can kind of get like thrown under the bus or whatever, when it's really the individual city or county's rules that you guys are trying to adhere to.
Yeah. And the other thing too is rules change.
Yeah.
And then you have new dynamics. Like for example, everyone will blame this on the shelter. There at ACS San Antonio, we used to have a 24-hour hold. So if I was vetting an adopter, not for more time, but actually vetting an adopter, I could send in a 24-hour hold. And that way I had a full day to vet the dog, vet the adopter for the dog to make everything, complete so we can get the adoption done. There are so many people that send in fake holds. and fake foster holds and things of that nature, they had to get rid of it.
That's
And
nuts.
we literally lost pups because these individuals couldn't just follow the rules.
Ugh.
And now they had to change the rules because of them, and dogs are suffering.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and that's something that I didn't even imagine would happen. But people, yeah, people do these things.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing that's important to know. Like, say there's just, for example, 6 dogs that are in jeopardy right this second. Well, if you do a fake hold on dog 3, 4, 5, whichever one of those dogs, 7 just became 6.
Yeah.
So you're not saving, you're picking and choosing, and that's one thing I will not get involved in. I will not have. I will share all the facts. I don't share my opinion because I will have nothing to do with which dogs make it or don't make it. I would just fight for all of them.
Sure.
Right. What's the biggest misconception maybe you had when you initially started this, or what really surprised you? You talked about the laws that you have to adhere to. Was that one of the major components that was, wow, I can't believe this is actually how this works? What was your
No,
moment?
not at all.
Not at all. Okay.
Not at all. What I will tell you is that, hey, man, wait, real quick, come here, buddy. Come here. This is oh, come here, Max. Watch out, John. He's so big. This is this is number 2 rescue, Max, Rhodesian Ridgeback. He was our second rescue. He's been here over a year.
Oh, wow.
So that's Maxie boy. All right,
Hey,
go ahead, lay down.
Max.
Can you say what you were just saying again? Because I lost my train of thought when I
Sure.
came up.
No problem. Sure. What was the biggest misconception, or maybe the thing that really shocked you the most when you started your initiative?
The unbelievable drama in rescue. It is like, I mean, like I said, I've worked in higher education before this for my career. And, when you're talking about, you're running a college, students do different things. There's a lot of things you have to deal with. But the drama here, wow. Everyone talks about let's do it together, let's work together. But it doesn't necessarily happen all the time. Everyone wants to, but it just doesn't. But I would say the most shocking thing, and people told me in the very beginning that specific thing, but nothing could have prepared me for what it was really like.
Is that indicative of nonprofits in general, do you think? Or
No, I don't know about others, but I think that the dog rescue specifically is that way. And maybe cat rescue is, I just don't know about cat rescue.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I've got some experience working in nonprofits myself, and it's really just dependent upon the individuals. It seems like the individuals who are part of the team and, their willingness. And you got any organization, you've got different personalities that are coming into the mix, and different people have different opinions, and it can get this person to person stuff can get messy. Wish we could all be as simple as our furry friends are. They got their priorities straight. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, the dogs are wonderful. A lot of my team, actually, the majority of the teams, like, we like dogs, not people.
Well, there's so many people that say
dogs are fantastic.
yeah.
I've heard so many people say that. They're like, yeah, I just animals are better. Animals are better than people.
Yep.
My question is, if there was one thing you really wanted to hammer home in this episode, a message that you want to give our listeners, what would it be?
Share, repost, comment, like. I can't tell you how many dogs that have been rescued by a share. For example, wait, which pup is it? I'll remember the name in a second. But the pup, so we were doing a live at night on Christina, the Pity Mom's page. She does the night ones. And someone shared the live. Someone from that share came in the live and adopted and saved the dog's life.
Yeah.
So you never know what share is the one that's going to be the one that someone sees, so they can see the pup and fall in love. You know what I mean? And they know that's their new best friend, and that's their pup. So that's what I would say, is that we see so many success stories with shares, but if there was more, there'd be more success stories.
Yeah. Well, so my question is this: like, when you initially started this, did you plan to have this sort of digital presence like you do? I mean, you're like on all the platforms. Like, was this a part of the plan?
There was no plan. I just knew I love dogs and I wanted to do something with dogs. So one big thing, my goal is to open up a location. The front half is boarding training, indoor dog parks, grooming, and coffee house and merchandise. 100% of the profits from that will go to a 30 kennel rescue in the other half.
Yeah.
And the difference between others is because of the revenue that we'll be generating, we won't have to worry about just grants and donations. So we'll be able to, all the dogs will get groomed. They'll get training. They'll have a whole entire indoor dog park where they'll have 3 to 4 hours a day versus 15 minutes. So it's a totally different level of structure, love, and take care of these pups. It's not that everyone doesn't want to do this. They just don't have the money.
That's an amazing vision, man. I think that's so cool, and I think that it sounds like a sustainable vision too. I mean, it sounds like you're just going to be able to be able to fund yourself in those ways too. That's amazing, dude.
Well, here's my goal: is to make a sustainable model that can be replicated around the country. I'm not wanting to franchise. That's not my point. But other places around the country can see that and use that model to be able to step up and do even more for the dogs.
So cool, man.
We've been speaking with Jarad Held, owner operator of Paws Saving Paws. Jarad, thank you so much for spending this time with us.
You got it. I had a fantastic time, guys. You were wonderful. I really, really appreciate you.
And we'd love to have you on again, man.
Oh, you have to. Absolutely.
Just let me know.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys.